Paul Woody, Richmond Times-Dispatch. This is a question for Mo. Mo, when Coach Wade arrived, he made it pretty clear that it was going to be an inside-out attack and that the ball was going to be coming into you. Can you talk about the things, can you talk about how you felt about that and the things that you have done to become a better offensive player once the ball comes into you?
I agree. I like that approach, knowing that the offense is going to start with me, and I could just be a decision maker on offense. If I have one-on-one, I could go score. If I get doubled, I'll kick it out. Becoming a better offensive player, just being more patient in the post and being more confident in my post moves and my hook shot and my counter moves, and then just kicking it out to Mel, Corey, Jaquan when they're open for a shot.
Question on the aisle right.
Carr, WRIC, Richmond, Virginia. This question is from Melvin and Mo. And Melvin, first, Shaka's going to be here. I wonder how much interaction, you're already annoyed. How much interaction have you had with him since he left, and do you plan to talk to him or see him this week?
I have had quite interaction with him. I was just more so worried about getting healthy, enjoying this with my teammates. This has nothing to do with Texas.
Yeah. Going off and we haven't even spoken to Coach Smart. Really, we haven't even, no communication has been made.
Got a question on the aisle left side.
With the Tulsa World. Corey, you're a Tulsa native. Can you talk a little bit about your journey, your 1 year at VCU, and what it means to play so close to home this weekend?
Being at VCU has been a blessing like all the way around in my life. Just being able to be a part of a winning program, winning tradition. Just playing with these guys have been a pleasure. You know, these are a group of very talented guys, and you know, I've always had to carry a lot of the workload at my old school, and I could just kind of sit back and, you know, be a part of a bigger scheme of things here at VCU, and just to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in my college career, it's just been a real blessing all the way around.
Question on the aisle left.
Hi guys, Janine Edwards, ESPN. You are making your 6th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament, and you're facing a team. None of the players have ever been to an NCAA tournament. It's been 26 years, in fact, since the program has gone. So I would like each of the three of you, in order, we'll start with Melvin, tell us what you've learned from your experiences of being in the tournament that gives you an edge over a team that's never been there. What sorts of things do you know you have to expect that they don't even know about yet?
That's a tough question. I mean, once you make it here, you're here, and I mean, anything can happen for the most part. Anyone can be beat, so we don't want to necessarily say we have a huge edge over them. They have great players, great individual players as well, and I mean, for the most part, the atmosphere may be different. Outside of that, it's nothing else the same. It's still basketball. It's still 5-on-5 in between the lines, so I feel like it's just going to be a great game as far as that goes.
From what I learned, it's just you just got to be the more aggressive team coming out the gate. Starting the game, it's going to be an emotional. You know, both teams are going to be happy to be here. In our past 2 years, we've lost in overtime here, so we're just trying to just play VCU, go with our formula, what's worked to get us here, and just hopefully we play well in the game.
I've been on the Oregon State side. I've never been to the tournament, so you know, this is a new experience for me. So.
We got a question on the middle right-hand side.
Kurt Voigt, Associated Press. Melvin, this is for you. You guys played a difficult non-conference schedule early in the season and had some tough losses. What was maybe something you did to avoid letting doubt creep in, and how did you guys bounce back from that, and what kind of confidence does that give you here?
It gives us a ton of confidence, and it gave us a lot of confidence going into conference play as well. We lost some tough ones in there, but for the most part, the approach we had from it was you win or you learn, not necessarily losing. We learned a lot from all the games we lost. We watched tons of film, understood why we lost or why we won the game. So, I mean, for the most part, I think we're prepared. We've been prepared for the past 2-3 months now, outside of the Cincinnati game, where I think that was our last non-conference game that we really were pushed to the limits. So, I mean, we're just happy to play against another opponent outside of the A-10 and a really good Oregon State team.
Got a question on the aisle left.
For Mo again, and I'd like to get a comment from Melvin at the end of this. Mo, you had to develop counter moves. Could you talk about how much work you put into it? Did you come in early and work before practice? Did you stay late after practice? What type of things did you do? This is the time and effort you put in. And Melvin, could you comment after he does on the changes you've seen in Mo as an offensive player?
Like first thing, Coach Wade, like when he got hired, he texted me like we're gonna try to get the ball to you a lot more and stuff like that. So over the whole summer, like we had our bigs group. It was me, John, and Hamdi primarily, and we would just work on our post moves all the time, or like we would all just compete every day. And then during the season, we had details we had to complete every day before or after practice. And mine was making 100 free throws every day and working on my post moves. So I would work on my hook, and then I would work on my counter, then I would work on like up and unders and different moves like that. For when I play like bigger guys or guys that are bigger than me or smaller, so different moves to work against my opponents.
It's been a sight to see. I think he was just playing primarily off his athleticism and his natural ability to be able to play the game. And then to see him actually beat up on his craft over and over again, I think that's kind of why he became an all-conference player, and he is who he is today. And I think he's our first option. I like to think of it like that. I love throwing him in the post. I love throwing him the ball in the post. I love when it's a single side with me and him in the pick and roll. And that's one of my best friends. So as I see him gradually get better, it was a joy to watch, because now he's unstoppable to an extent. Not unstoppable, but he's a pretty good player in the post.
We got a question on the aisle left.
Kyle Frederickson with the Oklahoman. For Corey, I'm sure part of the excitement of coming home is reconnecting with family and friends. Have you been able to do any of that yet? And are you going to have a good crowd here, a support group from back in Tulsa?
Yeah, I haven't really been by my phone a lot, interacting with a lot of people. Nobody's come to see me either, but tomorrow's going to be a lot of my family and friends that watched me, through the years in high school when I was at Oral Roberts, and then they kind of kept up with me at VCU. They weren't able to come to the games, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty good crowd from my hometown.
Got a question on the aisle left.
Okay, this is for which one of you wants to give me the best scouting report on Gary Payton Jr. Tell me what you guys have noticed and where the biggest challenges will be in facing him.
He's active. He's really, really, really active. I've been impressed from the time we got on the flight earlier yesterday. I watched film on about 3 of their games, Cal, USC, and their win against Utah at home. And one thing I've got out of it was just how active he is. He doesn't wow you with too much on the offensive end, even though he's extremely talented. More so about how he rebounds, how he defends, and how he's probably the best shot blocker. A lot of times in transition, he's the guy chasing down blocks. He is their best rebounder, in my opinion, and he's just that guy for them, So he's a heck of a player, and he's a next level caliber player as well.
I played him last year when I was at Oral Roberts, and I was just like Mel said, he's a great defender. It's not too extravagant on the offensive end. He just does what it needs to do to get them to win or get them a better chance to win. He's a team player. He gets the ball moving on both ends. He plays the passing lanes really well, and he guarded our leading scorer last year, and he did a pretty good job on him. He actually led the nation and was one of the leaders in the nation in scoring this year, my old teammate, and I watched him, do a number on him. So it was a sight to see watch him play defense.
Question in the middle, right.
Melvin, with as much as you guys have been here, I'm wondering if you knew the whole schedule for the week before a coach or someone told you before you got here, and does it make it any less exciting coming year after year?
Oh no, this is earned. This is not a given. We expect to be here, but we're extremely fortunate to be here, and it's something that's been on our mind since conference play started. We didn't quite get the wins we wanted in a non-conference slate, and we understood that in order for us to get there, we had to play extremely well in conference and win our conference and things of that nature. So, once we saw our name, even though we lost in the conference championship game, our frowns were smiles again. We were extremely excited. Corey was even more excited to be back home. And it's just one of the experiences that you never get tired of. And if I had another 4 years to go to another 4 NCAA tournaments, I would, and I would be just as happy as I am now.
This will be our final question for our student athletes on the outside, right?
Jesse Soa, Corvallis Gazette-Times. Could each of you just talk briefly about, from what you've seen, what Oregon State does well?
They play a pretty good matchup zone. We kind of seen it against Richmond in conference, but it's a little better than Richmond's matchup zone, I would say. Their guard, actually, McGarry Payton is a leading rebounder. He rebounds pretty well, so I mean that's kind of an oddity to have a guard that's leading you in rebounding. And they run their offense pretty good. They execute pretty well on the offensive end, so that's what I've noticed from watching them.
They're great shooters. All of them could shoot. Their five man's a bruiser in the paint, so you just try to do a good job containing the three.
Every game they got off to a great start. It's because of the three ball. So we really just trying to contain the three ball as much as possible, along with their best player, and just trying to make it an even game as much as possible. But they do what they do well. So